Who would have thought? Another video in regards to Ben Simmons and his jump shot. But this time it's a little bit different. Because Tobias Harris, once again, is coming out and speaking about Ben Simmons. And speaking about Joel Embiid. And talking about the jump shot. And talking about the growth of the young two stars. Which is what's really important this offseason. What is going on, everyone? That is right, Tobias Harris is back at it, discussing on First Things First with Nick Wright, Chris Carter, discussing the 76ers, discussing the two young stars, and I have the audio clip here. I want you to hear it, and then we will discuss some points that he hit on. So let's hear it first from Tobias Harris. He's been talking, let's be real, he's been talking to the media about these players, specifically Ben Simmons more, but he's been very vocal when it comes to the addition of the jump shot for Ben Simmons and really the growth of him. And it does, at the end of the day, it does make me happy because I believe there's a correlation between the confidence Tobias Harris is speaking with and what's actually happening on the court and what type of work these players, specifically Ben Simmons, how much they're putting in this offseason. So let's hear it.
I just see their careers going up. I mean, you're talking about two guys who are continuing to develop and grow, and already at a young age are at the upper level of the NBA and the talent group. So in terms of Joel, I mean, he's having a productive summer. He's in the gym, getting better, getting healthy. Ben, I was just out in LA with him training. He's in the gym working. You're always on my man's jump shot, but
I am, absolutely. Can we talk about that?
We can, yeah, why not? I mean, I was with him in the gym in LA. He's shooting it. He's confident with it. So for me, that's all I like to see from him. He's working. He's working his tail off every single day, getting better. So we have the right pieces and the right group with the right mindset, in my opinion, at this time that's coming back with that chip on the shoulder to really make something happen.
We talked a lot about his seeming lack of confidence in taking that shot and wanting to take the shot during the game. You're out there on the court playing with him. I don't want to use the word frustrate, but is there a little question mark that comes up? Like, you're talented, you're one of the best in the league. Why not make more of an effort to try to take those shots?
Well, I mean, at that time, like last year for him, he just wasn't confident in shooting it, but still super productive. Like, he's like a deer in the front court of just running and getting out in transition. Can get to the rim at will, stronger, can post up, etc. But for him to add that element now, where teams have to defend that and guard that, and just know that he's going to be able to shoot, improves us as a whole group.
Yes.
So a little bit to unfold there, right? It was a couple-minute clip, and I thought it was interesting, though. So before we dive into what he said about Ben Simmons specifically, let's talk about the fact that he mentioned Joel Embiid, right? Earlier in the audio, which you didn't hear, Chris Carter brings up the fact that, Joel Embiid, he eats all this food. Is he really staying in shape? And it's one thing we don't discuss that much as Sixers fans heading into the season is Joel Embiid. It's all about Ben Simmons. It's all about his jump shot. Joel Embiid does need to find a way to stay healthier. He does need to find a way to stay in shape. That was obviously a big thing that we noticed this past season. But the addition of Al Horford is going to change the game. And I believe because we witnessed Kawhi Leonard be so successful last season with the Toronto Raptors, using the method of load management, using the method of not playing back-to-backs, right, and all of that, we are going to implement that with the 76ers. And having someone like Al Horford, a true professional that can slide from that 4 position to the 5 position, it gives us a different confidence level when Joel Embiid can't play, right? When we're resting Joel Embiid. We know at this point, right, that the playoffs are the goal. We understand what the actual goal is for this upcoming season is the NBA Finals, to make a legitimate run. So that game in December, that game in November, that game in January, it doesn't mean much. That random game against the Charlotte Hornets on November 18th, right? That doesn't mean anything. No one cares. So we can use those type of moments to rest Joel Embiid because we actually have someone who can play that role. We didn't have that last year. I don't need to bring up the plus-minus again of when Joel Embiid was on the floor, when he was off the floor in the playoffs. We have people who can fill that role during the season, and that will actually help the conditioning level. That will help the fatigue factor of Joel Embiid throughout the season, and that will help him keep his strength and keep his health. So with that being said, I know we don't really criticize Joel Embiid's offseason because I think that there's also a trust factor. Not that people don't believe that Ben Simmons is working on the jump shot. Well, there's probably some fans that do, because I do hear a lot that fans think that he's just so confident, he's this cocky kid who has no work ethic. I hear that all the time, which is nonsense, but with Joel Embiid, it seems like there's a different sense of belief when it comes to him working out in the summer. But let's go on to what he said about Ben Simmons. Is he putting too much pressure on Ben Simmons? See, I don't believe so. And here's why. Tobias has seen things. Tobias has been working out with Ben Simmons. Tobias has seen him in the gym every day, working on his craft, doing the grind. He's coming out and saying this because there is a difference. If he saw no upgrade, if he saw nothing new, he wouldn't be coming to the media now 2 times saying, Ben Simmons, you're going to see something. You're going to see an addition. There's clearly something very noticeable in Ben Simmons' approach that makes Tobias Harris confident in saying it. Now, there was a question asked at the end. Have you ever been frustrated because he wouldn't shoot it at times? And Tobias didn't really answer the question. He went a different direction, which is fair, right? That's what athletes do when they don't really want to answer the question, but they give you something else. He claims, we understand as a team what he does when he can't shoot the ball. Like last year, he wasn't confident. That was a quote he stated. Tobias stated. He wasn't confident. But as a team, they realized what he can do, even though he couldn't shoot the basketball. When he can run down the court, when he can go downhill. His passing, his playmaking, his back to the basket. There are other things that he is so good at. And it made me realize, with this fan base, and listen, I get frustrated with Ben Simmons, but I also understand how great he really can be. Does he frustrate me? Absolutely. But I know and I see what he's so talented at. And with this fan base, it's either, he can't shoot, he stinks. Or, you see how good he can be. But you need to realize what he is so talented at. You are so focused on the one huge flaw, the one big flaw. But what about everything else that he is A+ at the age of 22? And you just take that for granted. His passing ability, his vision, how he can attack the basket. Now the frustration sets in when he doesn't attack the basket, and I know that, but how good he is at that at the age of 22 is unreal. The point of this being is, Tobias Harris has been very public this offseason with what is going on with Ben Simmons. And I appreciate that. Will it put a little pressure on Ben Simmons? Maybe. But good, I think he needs that. Maybe this is a tactic out of Tobias, so when Ben Simmons is on the floor, he's got to back it up. And that's the position he's in now. But regardless of Tobias Harris coming out or not, wasn't that obvious? Regardless of Tobias Harris mentioning to the media multiple times about anything in relation to Ben Simmons' jump shot, wasn't he having pressure anyway? Wasn't he on the clock to have to shoot and find a way to get a jumper anyway? Absolutely. So maybe Tobias, these comments is kind of pushing it, kind of making it happen quicker right off the bat. I like it. I like the fact that his teammate is kind of holding him accountable, but also doing it based off of seeing success, based off of seeing a difference, based off of seeing Ben Simmons put in work. He's not just blindly coming out and stating this stuff to the media. And I also personally believe that there was some communication involved. This isn't just a guy going up and stating what he thinks without discussing it. There's a culture involved with that locker room of family. This isn't I'm going behind someone's back and just going to say whatever I want to the media. Because I put it in perspective of myself. And listen, not everybody thinks the same way. Not everybody thinks the way I think, of course. But if I'm in a culture environment where I'm family, I got my teammates, they're my boys. If I'm going on national TV, knowing I'm going to talk about Ben Simmons, knowing I'm going to talk about the jump shot, I'm either going to text him, call him, like, yo, do you mind if I say this? Do you mind if I go with this? Because you know they're going to ask me that. There's no way that type of communication didn't happen before Tobias Harris is on the clock getting asked these questions. So I want to hear your thoughts down below on what you think about this. What you think about Joel Embiid, how we never really discussed Joel Embiid. It's clearly just about Ben Simmons. I want to hear your thoughts on Tobias Harris and now coming out once again discussing the same thing, but being confident about it and really putting Ben Simmons on the radar. Really putting his shot under the lights, if you will. But to me, there's a reason why he's doing it. Because there's an addition. Now, when you say jump shot, don't blow this out of proportion. We're not talking about Steph Curry. He's not going to walk up to the line and just drill threes. Keep that in mind. Don't get this overblown. Don't think he's going to have to take three-pointers. That's not what it's about. It's about the willingness. It's about the willingness. It's about the confidence. He mentioned the confidence. He needs to see the ball go through the basket a few times and things will click. It's about the confidence, not about the ability. So, thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I will see you next time.